are dealing with women.
Yes.
And they do not understand actually that how Islam is maybe the only religion
Yes.
that honored women and put women in a level that cannot be compared to anyone actually.
Yes.
So this is one of the points, for example, to be discussed.
yes.
And we heard many of the women who were released by extremists. Actually, they
Yes,
were talking
yes.
about things that no one can ever believe.
Yes.
The way they treated women, the way they are
And
taking
enslaving
them.
yes.
Definitely, this is something, has nothing to do with Islam.
Of course, yes, and Al-Azhar has always been making it very clear that such extremist acts are not representative of Islam or any religion, and are barbaric ones, and they are not even humane ones at all. This is very clear, and this is why also in Al-Azhar you have women professors who are teaching at the university, who are teaching at the mosque itself, and this is again, I do believe in the notion that actions speak louder than words. So for anyone, when they see, for example, Muslim women who are scholars, who are teaching, who are themselves taking the initiative in order to correct any negative misconception about the status of women in Islam, this is the reply that we are always looking for.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you can tell us more about the efforts of the Al-Azhar to combat religious extremism.
Yes, it was very clear from the international conference that Al-Azhar, as a matter of fact, was a forerunner to hold. It was an international conference on countering violence and extremism. It was called for by the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, and it sent a very clear message. And this step, as a matter of fact, as I said, came as a preemptive, if you like, step taken by Al-Azhar. And then we did find many other decision makers across the globe and leaders calling for the same things that Al-Azhar has called for. So this again illustrates the pioneering role that Al-Azhar has been playing in this part in particular, and the visions that Al-Azhar has, be it on the local level or the regional level or on the international arena. Mm-hmm. So yes, please. So my point in this regard in particular, also Al-Azhar has launched an observatory for monitoring all what is being published about Islam and Muslims and Muslim minorities and the misconceptions about Islam. And this is why also there is a Sharia committee which is responsible for preparing the reply and the response to all of these misconceptions, and they are available or also on the gate of Al-Azhar on the internet. So and of course not to forget the diverse professors and teachers and preachers who are being dispatched by Al-Azhar, and also Al-Azhar under the supervision of the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar has dispatched the peace convoys in collaboration with the Council of Muslim Elders, which is headed also by the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, and they did a great role in refuting many misconceptions and communicating with Muslim minorities, and also the academia in the West, be it in France and the States and across the globe.
One of my main concerns, actually, that's why I want to talk about, is classes concerning or just classes for our children.
This is available, and
this is something of great importance. That what I want to talk about is that in the past we used to see parents who take their children to recite the Holy Quran, and something that is really clear, crystal clear to anyone. I noticed this myself, that people who studied or they know how to recite the Holy Quran, they have a very good accent when it comes to learning languages or even in speaking and reading, because the accent itself is going to be completely different even if they are not studying the language, for example. And this will help them also in just memorizing, to be creative, to understand in studying. And we used to be very much proud of our kids in the past. This child, he knows the surah all when it comes to Al-Baqarah, for example, to Surah Yasin. This is something of great importance. Nowadays, actually, it is not the same. Even if we have lectures, but even in schools, for example, we can see that children, they just skip the question of reciting, for example, and they are not reciting the Holy Quran. They just study what they can memorize.
Of course, I totally agree with everything you said and mentioned, and the importance of teaching the younger generation how to recite and how to read the Quran correctly, and the great benefits that they will reap out of their ability to pronounce correctly and their articulation and all of this. But as a matter of fact, and also this is something that I need to clarify now at Al-Azhar, and as I'm speaking to you now, starting from 10 all the way to the time before Jum'ah prayer, there are classes for children only, for teaching them Quran, for teaching them intellectual skills and learning skills, and also for teaching them English. This is available at Al-Azhar Mosque. Also, when it comes to schools, of course, at all the various institutions and schools at Al-Azhar, the students learn from the primary stage how to recite and how to read the Quran, and this is one of the most important subjects that the students study. When it comes to schools other than Al-Azhar, this will depend on the curricula, but of course
this is also what I'm asking about. Yes. Do you meet with children or parents of different standards of living, and they are keen on this?
Yes, when it comes to the riwaq in Al-Azhar, it's open for everyone on a daily basis. As I told you, there is a riwaq for the Quran Kareem, for the Noble Quran, and on a daily basis, starting from 9 to Dhuhr prayer, and then from Dhuhr prayer to Asr prayer, and then from Asr to Maghrib, there are highly skilled Quran memorizers and teachers of Noble Quran who teach all levels, starting from children, teenagers, adolescents, grown-ups, for all of them, men and women. This takes place on a daily basis at Al-Azhar, and also not only for Egyptians or Arab speakers, also for non-Arabic speakers. There are classes for teaching them the correct rules of reciting the Noble Quran in English and other languages. But this is totally available for free at Al-Azhar Mosque.
Yes. Sheikh Hossam, anything you'd like to add?
I just would like to add that everyone is most welcome to join Al-Azhar Mosque and Al-Azhar Riwaq, and also now Al-Azhar again has an official website or a gate, which is which is www.azhar.eg. If you have any questions, you are most welcome and to communicate with us, and you are most welcome to come to Al-Azhar and to benefit from the scholars, from the teachers, from the instructors, and everyone is most welcome. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. Sheikh Hossam Ed-Deen Allam, head of Al-Azhar Riwaq in English. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, by this we come to the end of today's episode of the Breakfast Show. Just a quick recap of what we discussed. Of course, we talked about the 47th edition of the Cairo International Book Fair, and also the efforts of Al-Azhar to spread the word of Islam, to diversify its efforts, not only in Egypt, but also worldwide. And dear viewers, you're in the company of Nashwa Rashid and Kareem Ed-Deen. Till we meet again, this is goodbye.